was a father. He had a goddamn kid, a son named Matthew. The news hadn't come as a shock just to him. Even the mother was surprised, which sounded kind of weird, but it was a pretty weird, fucked-up story, and Derek still didn't know all the details. He'd known that she was pregnant, but had believed the baby died at birth. Turned out not to be that way. He'd talked to her, Marla was her name, a few times since finding out the baby was alive, been over to visit her with his father in tow, and he was still kind of feeling his way through this, trying to sort out just what his responsibilities were. "Hello?" "Huh?" Derek said. It was Canton Schultz, standing next to his four-door Nissan, the driver's door open. Flanking him were Derek's other friends from Thackeray, George Lydecker and Tyler Gross. "We just took a vote," Tyler said. "What?" "While you were off in La-La Land daydreaming, we took a vote," said George. "You're it." "I'm what?" "You're the one going into the trunk." "No way. I don't want to go into the trunk." "Well, tough shit," said Canton. "We've been standing around here talking about it, and you had nothing to say, so we made a decision. Thing is, it's a very important job being the guy in the trunk, because you're the one protecting the beer." "Fuck it, fine," Derek said, "but I'm not getting in now. It's a 10-minute drive from here. We'll pull over when we're almost there. Then I'll get in the back for a couple of minutes till we get inside." The thing was, the trunk was very much a place he did not want to be. He didn't want to be cooped up in there for 2 minutes, let alone 10. Back when Derek was 17, while hiding in the basement crawl space of a friend's house, he'd had to listen while 3 people were murdered, and hold his breath so the killer didn't find him too. It was a big story in Promise Falls at the time. Prominent lawyer, his wife and son, all executed. For a while there, the police even wondered if Derek had done it. But they got the killer in the end, and everything worked out, so long as you didn't count the fact that Derek was pretty much scarred for life. Okay, maybe not for life. He'd managed to move on, pull his life together, go to school, make friends. His parents splitting up had actually hit him harder, but it didn't mean he was happy to jump into a car trunk. Derek was not a fan of confined spaces. But he wasn't a fan of looking like a wuss either, which was why he'd proposed getting in just before their arrival at the drive-in. Everyone agreed that was reasonable. So, after putting a case of beer into the trunk, they piled into the car. Canton, behind the wheel, George, shotgun, and Derek and Tyler in the back seat. It was already dark, and it would be after 11 by the time they got to the Constellation. The first feature would probably already be nearly over, but they weren't interested in it anyway, since it was always something for kids. Not that a Transformers movie wasn't for kids, but the opening flick would most likely be a cartoon that wasn't all that scary. And even if they ended up late for the Transformers flick, how hard would it be to catch up? And before long, they'd be too drunk to care. While Derek had not volunteered to be the guy in the trunk, he had stepped up to be the designated driver on the way home, and everyone was fine with that. 1 or 2 beers for him, and that'd be it. He'd get everyone back safely. And after that, Derek didn't know when he would see any of them again. Canton and Tyler would be heading home to Pittsburgh and Bangor, respectively. George Lydecker, like Derek, was a local, but Derek didn't see himself hanging out with him. Derek was reminded of a phrase his own grandfather used to say about people like George. "He's not wrapped too tight." The words that came to mind for Derek were loose cannon. George was always the one who acted first, thought later, like turning over a professor's smart car and leaving it on its roof, slipping a baby alligator from a pet shop into Thackeray Pond. That little guy still hadn't been found. George had even boasted about breaking into people's garages late at night, not just to help himself to a set of tools or a bicycle, but for the pure thrill of it. As if George could read Derek's thoughts at the moment in the car, he decided to do something monumentally stupid. George dropped the passenger window, allowing cool night air to blow in as they sped down a country road that ran around the south end.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.